Yo, yo, yo. I'm so white. Welcome to the Love People Use Things podcast. My name is Matt Frad. It's great to have you with us. If you're new, Love People Use Things is a podcast run by me, Matt, a Christian, and my atheist friend, Noah Church, which, by the way, is the most Christian-sounding name ever, which makes it super ironic. And look, me and Noah disagree about stuff, but we both agree that your life, your relationships, and society as a whole would be better off without porn. And I'm pumped about this, I have to say. We live in a culture, I've said it before, but man, like anyone disagrees with us, what do? We relegate them and we say, you're the other, don't listen to them, you're wrong. I mean, don't we live in that kind of society? It sucks. I don't want to live in that society. I want to listen and learn from everybody. And if you're listening to me and you don't think that you can learn from a religious person, or you don't think you can learn from someone who doesn't believe in God, then you are narrow-minded in the most negative possible sense. We can learn from everybody. This is what I love about the philosopher Socrates, who just walked around Athens chatting with anybody and asking them questions because he sought knowledge, right? And he wasn't just interested in his little side. He wanted to know truth, and so anyway, super cool. If you haven't listened to Noah's episode, which came out last week, 4 ways that porn can alter your brain, go check that out. Noah has such a better voice than I do when it comes to radio. He sounds very suave. Suave. Whereas I sound like a nasally Australian. Anyway, look, buckle up. Here we go. Today I want to talk about tips to quit. I want to talk about why setbacks don't necessarily mean failure, okay? Maybe you've had a setback recently and, you think, well, there you go. Like all that hard work is over and done with. Not true. So I want to talk about that today. Let me begin with maybe an analogy. Suppose you're climbing up this giant mountain that takes tremendous amount of effort and perseverance and self-control, and you trip and you stumble and you roll down a little, okay? You get up. You didn't roll down to the bottom of the friggin' mountain, okay? You fell back a few steps. Get up, move forward. Do you understand? This idea that if I've gone 2 weeks or a month or 2 months without a setback, and then I have a setback and then pretty much think that I'm at square one, that's not true. It's just false, okay? When we resist temptation to look at porn or to act out sexually, I said it in a previous episode, we're growing in virtue, we're growing in courage and self-control, and it's not true that one setback means that you have done away with all of that stuff. As if, oh well, you failed, you may as well have been masturbating and looking at porn every day, all right? That's just not true. So if you've had a setback lately, just get up, would you? And walk with the rest of us up this hill, because something at the top is worth attaining, right? Self-control, self-respect, right? A good sex life, right? A way to look at people and see them as such, right? So as to not look at them as things to be used, yeah? So I know we are nowhere near January or December around the new year, but I found this interesting. I saw this study, and it said the top most common New Year's resolution that was made was to lose weight and or to eat healthier. All right? This is funny. It's not funny. You can see why people do this. I do it as well, right? It's like we're binging at Christmas and then New Year's, okay, well, I'm going to binge tonight, but then tomorrow, I'm going to start again. I'm making a resolution, And look, gyms, fitness centers, they're all very aware that we do this. And this is why around December, you start seeing those placards out the front of their establishments say, become the best version of yourself and all that, and because we all desperately desire to do it, okay? But according to this same study, they found that 72.6% of respondents admitted to the length of their resolution to lasting, are you ready for this? 1 week. What? 1 week. But 44.8% of these respondents said it lasted 6 months. So here's what I want to get at. Is this study suggesting that 44.8% of people ate healthy every single day for the 6th month of the year, right? So these people who said, yeah, I did it for 6 months and then I maybe gave up a bit. Yeah, no, I think a realistic answer would be no, probably not. Like in reality, they probably started off pumped up, ready to go, determined. But as time went on, maybe they had some moments of weakness, the chocolate at the top of the cupboard. I'll just have 1 or 2 or 3 of these things, all right? And yet I think it's fair to say that one minor setback doesn't mean that you've failed. And if you have that mentality that one minor setback equals failure, then, bringing it back to this food analogy, the chances that you'll begin to just binge are probable, right? More probable. Right, if I think that having like one sweet amounts to a failure, then I'll eat the whole sweet cabinet. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not equating the morality of looking at porn with eating a sweet, obviously. Eating unhealthy, generally speaking, I would say it's not as bad as consuming and masturbating to pornography, but I'm just making an analogy here, all right? So what I want to do in the rest of this podcast is share with you 5 ways to help you ensure success, right, as you seek to be porn-free. So I don't care if you had a setback this morning or yesterday, okay? I care, you know what I mean? But it's not to define you. These 5 things are still meant for you, all right? Now, I'm looking at this awesome article from Fight the New Drug. I'm good friends with the guys over there. You should be too. They've got a wonderful program called Fortify. It's an online recovery program. You should definitely check that out. But Fight the New Drug had this awesome article, and they suggested these 5 things. And I just want to go through them now. And I'll link to it in the show notes. So the first thing they say is to be sure that your heart is in the right place. All right, so if you've decided not to look at porn or not to masturbate to porn, ask yourself, why have I made this decision? Okay? Like, is it because you want to make this decision, or is it because other people are pressuring you to make this decision? Again, let's go back to the food analogy. Suppose it's December 28th or something, and everyone around you is like, dude, you need to start eating healthy. We don't think it's cool. And so you think to yourself, okay, well, I really don't want to, but, they'll quit nagging me if I do this. Okay, if that's your mentality, your heart is not in the right place, and you will no doubt have a setback sooner than later, and then you'll give up entirely. I think something similar can be said when it comes to wanting to overcome pornography. Why do you want to overcome it? Is it because people are nagging you? Is it because you feel kind of guilty because people say it's bad, but you don't really think it's bad? Like, you can't do this half-heartedly. You have to be all in or all out. Make a bloody decision, would you? Stop friggin' pussyfooting around this, right? Either do it or don't do it. Either be committed or don't be committed. But don't come at this thing half-hearted, because you bloody well will fail. And by fail, I don't mean a setback. I mean, you'll give up. And when you give up, you won't just give up. You'll start to lie to yourself about why giving up porn's probably unhealthy anyway. This is what everyone does. And this is an insight from Friedrich Nietzsche, incidentally. It's called ressentiment. If you feel yourself impotent to attain a particular good, you usually end up demonizing the good. All right? Don't end up in that place. That's not cool. All right? You got to be committed to this thing. If you're not sure why you should be committed to this thing, all right, listen to some of our previous podcasts. I've interviewed a former porn performer. I've talked about all the research that's coming out. Go visit Gary Wilson's website, fantastic website, yourbrainonporn.com. Right? Check that out. If you want to be incentivized to be free of this, to get serious about this, you need to educate yourself about this. All right. That's the first thing. All right. Here's the second tip I want to give you for ongoing success, and that's to find a supportive community. All right? Find a supportive community. And again, let's bring this back to kind of working out and stuff. I used to do CrossFit. Turns out I need some surgery soon, and so they told me to stop lifting stuff heavy. So I'm like, okay, I can't do CrossFit anymore. But dude, I love CrossFit. And again, I think the reason people hate CrossFit is maybe because they're jealous. I really do think that. I mean, I'll grant you that people can post pictures of themselves online that seem pretty conceited. Right, and that's not cool. But I do think for many of us, when we criticize CrossFit people, it's just because we're lazy and wish that we weren't. And so we demonize the good. There you go. Ressentiment again. But when I did CrossFit, it was so much easier to stay committed, right, and to work out because I was with a supportive community. I used to go to this CrossFit box, which shut down, and so I said, gosh, what am I going to do? There's no other CrossFit box around me, so I started going to a gym on my own, and I just started petering out. I'd go, my workouts weren't as intense, and eventually I just stopped going altogether, all right? You need to find a community of like-minded individuals with similar experiences and beliefs that can motivate you to be free. You cannot do this on your own. Do you understand? Like, you speak to any recovering porn addict, and he will tell you that. She will tell you that. You need at least one other person. All right? You need to find a supportive community. Do not be afraid to go to a Sexaholics Anonymous meeting. Go to sa.org, right? Check that out. You can find an online community. You can find a community in person. Find a group of supportive people. You don't have to agree with them on everything, but you have to find people who want to support you in this. You need to have at least an accountability partner, huh? You got to have it. If you're a woman struggling with porn, for goodness sake, find another woman that you can be real with about this stuff. You don't need to struggle alone. Struggling alone sucks. It's asphyxiating. It's just a hopeless experience. You need to find somebody right now. And I've spoke about Covenant Eyes before because they in part sponsor us. And even if they didn't sponsor us, I would tell you that Covenant Eyes is the best accountability and filtering software out there. And what's great about it is it's not just like this program, rather it connects you with a human being who loves you and wants the best for you. If you want to try a month of it for free, incidentally, maybe you've never tried it before, you really need to. Like, you gotta have it. If there's a better thing than Covenant Eyes that comes out tomorrow, I'll promise you I'll start promoting that, but there just isn't. If you want accountability and filtering, just try it out for a month for free. Go to covenanteyes.com, and when you're buying it, use the promo code FRAD. That'll give you a month for free. So you try it out for a month. If you don't like it, cancel it. You don't have to pay a cent, but you won't not like it. It's fantastic. And again, that'll put you in touch with another human being that's going to be encouraging you and supporting you. It makes a world of difference, all right? So find a supportive community. That's the second tip. The third tip is very similar to the first, and that's that accountability can help ensure success, all right? When we face a new challenge or goal by ourselves, it's easy to talk ourselves out of achieving what it is we want to achieve, if that makes sense, right? Because if we do it, who are we letting down? Well, we're just letting down ourselves, right? Again, this is very similar to the second point where I'm talking about joining a community. Like, that community, at least one person in that community ought to keep you accountable, right? Like, if you've made a decision to swear off donuts and you're like, I'll just have a donut, who are you letting down? No one but yourself, right? That's it. No one else needs to know. But if you got someone that you respect and love and trust that's journeying with you, all right, this is going to ensure success because you're not just letting yourself down now, right? You're bringing this other person into your orbit. I'm not saying you're letting them down, okay, but I'm saying more than you now needs to know about this setback. Think of it this way. What is accountability? It's not pointing out when someone else has done something wrong and shaming them. Right? It's not going to a person with your head hung low and saying, I fell again, right? Accountability, I think we should think of it this way, is inviting somebody to live a more beautiful life. It's to encourage them. It's to praise them for their desire to be better. And that when they fall, you're right there alongside them to encourage them. So you need an accountability partner, and you need to be an accountability to someone else, all right? In order for this to work, you have to be honest and open with this person. So do not find an accountability partner and then be like, whatever, man. I mean, I don't need to tell them about this particular setback. I already had another setback last week. It's kind of pathetic. No. If that's your attitude, then accountability won't work. You got to be fully transparent with this person. And again, I really do think if you're a man, you got to find a man. If you're a woman, you got to find a woman. I'm one of these people who happens to think that only man can teach a man how to be a man, and only a woman can teach a woman how to be a woman. Now, even if you disagree with that, I think we can agree that the struggles that women and men face when it comes to pornography are different in some ways. Like, how many men do you know are masturbating to romance novels? Not many. And even if the women listening to this podcast say, look, I watch hardcore porn and I want to stop, it's not romance novels for me. Yeah, I get it. But the fact is, those people who are masturbating to romance novels, quote unquote, are typically women, right? So there is a difference in the way men and women consume pornography. And so for that reason, a man needs to find a man, a woman needs to find a woman. Like, I've had women say to me, I feel so isolated. I feel like I'm the only woman in the world. And then when they talk to a trusted friend, because you might be listening to me right now and thinking, how do I know who I can trust? Matt, I mean, how do I know? And I always say, you know who you can trust. You know who loves you. You know that they're not there to judge you. Tell them, all right? Reach out to them, okay? And I've had many women say to me that when they did that the woman said back to them, me too. I thought I was the only one, So I'm not promising that's going to happen, of course. But if you're a man, finding a man. If you're a woman, finding a woman. All right, here's the fourth tip to ongoing success or sobriety, however you want to put it. And it's this, and this might sound a little patronizing. This might sound a little weak, but it's spot on. Be kind to yourself. All right, be kind to yourself. Kindness is different to niceness, right? I don't think we're necessarily called to be nice. I think we are called to be kind. Because nice means just be polite, don't make waves, just be friendly. No, man, there's times you shouldn't be friendly to people, right? There's times you got to be stern with people. And that sternness is kindness. If you were nice to someone who had a setback and you're like, hey, whatever, man, it doesn't matter. That's nice, but it's not kind. Because you don't want what's best for them. You should want what's best for them. So speak truth to them, right? So whereas niceness, I think, doesn't always involve truth, kindness does. And that said, we can sometimes place unrealistic expectations on ourselves. Like we hold ourselves to this impossibly high standard. And then when we fail to meet it, we beat ourselves up and then we begin sinking down, right? We start shaming ourselves. It's never good. So look, if you've been looking at porn every week since you were 8 years old and you've just heard this podcast, you're like, that's it, I'm done. I'm never going to look at it again. Can I be honest with you? Maybe that's true, but you're probably going to have a setback, okay? This stuff is really addictive. So putting this, I'm never going to do it again, and if I do, well, then I guess I'm a failure, is super unrealistic and unhelpful. I've said it before. This is not a all or nothing fight, okay? This is a daily fight, So if you fall, do not fill your head with self-criticism about what a friggin' awful person you are, because if you do that, what's going to happen? Oh, let's back up a step. I said this last time I was here. I think the reason we look at porn, if I could boil it down, all right, it's pleasurable. Well, I guess that's why we do it. But more than anything, when we get into a routine of doing this stuff, it's because it soothes us. What does it soothe us from? It soothes us from external and internal aggravators. So if you have a setback and you start heaping shame on yourself, what you're doing is creating internal aggravation. And if you're internally aggravated, guess what you'll likely do? Turn to that soother that you've learned to turn to every week since you were 8, every day maybe since you were 8. Doesn't help. And it's not true humility to tell yourself that you're a piece of crap, right? You know why it's not true humility? Because humility means telling ourselves what's true. That doesn't mean friggin' heaping shame on ourselves. You're not a piece of crap. Do you understand me? I don't care if you think you are, you're wrong. Just like if you told me the earth was flat or was created 6,000 years ago. You can believe it, but you're wrong. So I invite you to live in accordance with reality. It's a much better place to be, man. You're not crap, right? You're a human person who has intrinsic dignity, right? The capacity to love and to be loved, to help, to encourage, to find meaning, to fight for what's right. That's who you are. You make a mistake, you tell yourself you're a piece of crap. That's not humility. Humility means telling ourselves the truth. So if you have a setback and you say, whatever, that didn't matter, yeah, that's not humble because you didn't just tell yourself the truth. But if you have a setback and say, that was wrong, I should not have done that, I need to make amends, well, that's humility. But you're not telling yourself you're a piece of crap because you're not a piece of crap. So forget it. Drop it. Drop this shame. Drop this ridiculous, overblown, magnified self-criticism. How would you speak to a friend that you love who had a setback? Would you tell him he's a piece of crap? Probably not. Rather, you would see clearly, objectively, and you would say, dude, you're trying. I'm sorry you had a setback. What bad decisions did you make that led up to this? You don't want to do that again, right? So you're not justifying his behavior. You're not saying his behavior or her behavior is okay. But what you're saying is, all right, get up, walk forward, all right? You're better than this. I know you're better than this. I think this is the sort of thing we have to say to ourselves, okay? So when you resurface from a moment of weakness and you feel that shame talk beginning to set in, take the time to recognize these negative feelings, all right? But then quickly acknowledge that you're human and that you're weak, right? And be kind to yourself like you would be kind to another person. Right, here's what love means. I feel like we have bastardized this word, love, eh? Sort of like friendship now. We only apply it to social media. We've almost forgotten what a friend is. Love is a feeling, yes, okay? But charity is a decision, right, to love another. So if you say, hey, I love you, but then you leave when things get hard, you never loved them to begin with, right? Charity is a decision. It's when you want what is best for the other person because of who the other person is. So it means like I'm married to a beautiful woman called Cameron. We've been married 12 years, and if she could shut her brain off and just go into kind of autopilot, because I love her and I'm with her, it means that she will be better off at the end of this day, even if her mind was shut off, because I'm here for her and I love her and I want what's best for her. You need to begin treating yourself like someone you're responsible for, to quote Jordan Peterson, right? That's a great line. You need to start treating yourself like someone you're responsible for. Like if you were responsible for another human being, you wouldn't just feed them crap, have them masturbate, have them look at porn, have them go to bed at any hour, have them wake up late. You wouldn't do that. You're responsible for them, man. Take care of them. Okay, now why aren't you treating yourself like that? Start treating yourself today like someone you're responsible for, all right? Be kind to yourself. Here's the 5th tip. This kind of sums it up. Setbacks don't mean failures. Setbacks don't mean failures. Listen to this, would you? Write this on a Post-it note. Put it on your mirror. Tweet it out. Pin it to the top of your Twitter file. 10 steps forward and 1 step back does not equal 11 steps back. Let me say it again. 10 steps forward and 1 step back does not equal 11 steps back. That's a great quote from this article at Fight the New Drug. 10 steps forward and 1 step back does not equal 11 steps back. I encourage you to tweet that out. Put hashtag love people use things or tag us so we can retweet it. But I mean, that's the truth. And this gets back to that mountain analogy I was using earlier on. If you're halfway up a mountain and you fall down, you didn't just fall down to the base of the mountain. Yeah, you fell back, get up, keep going, right? Progress doesn't have to disappear because of one moment of weakness. Like, to be fair, like we seem to be quick to get angry at ourselves, quick to shame ourselves when we fail, but slow to celebrate our accomplishments. Can I encourage you to celebrate your accomplishments? If you have a porn-free day today, why don't you do something nice for yourself tonight or tomorrow morning? I'm serious. If you can get through today without masturbating and looking at porn, why don't you say to yourself, all right, now this is going to sound silly, but just shut up and listen to me. You say to yourself, all right, Matt, that's my name now. If you can do this, I'm gonna reward you tomorrow. Like I'm gonna take you and we're gonna go get coffee. All right, you can do this. I want what's best for you. Don't thwart this. Don't thwart it. You want to be happy and you can be happy and you're better than this. So if you can get through today, then tomorrow we're gonna do a little something nice. Does that sound stupid? Maybe, but I tell you what, it's not as stupid as jerking off to your computer. So forget cool, man. Cool left, okay? This isn't about being cool. This is about being healthy. And that's what this podcast is all about. I want to thank you so much for tuning in week after week. I hope that you love the show. I hope that it's been beneficial for you. Our website is Love People Use Things. And again, this is a podcast run by an atheist and a Christian who think that your life would be better without porn. And we want to invite you to support this show. All the work that we're doing here, including me traveling and speaking, right, is funded by listeners like you, right? So that me and Noah can get paid so we can continue to do this, so we can go from better to even better, let me tell you what I'm going to give you if you begin to support the show for $10 a month on Patreon. All right, so all you got to do, if you go to A lot of people use things. Click donate. You give us $10 a month. At the start of every month, here's what I do. I will send you a copy of my book. It's a non-religious book called The Porn Myth, Exposing the Reality Behind the Fantasy of Pornography. I'll sign it for you, so if you ever sell it in a garage sale, it'll be worth more. I'll also send you the book, Equipped, Smart Parenting in the Sexualized World, by Amanda Zerfas. I'm going to give you a free Love People Use Things sticker. And you also get a free can I just be real? No one's giving you this much stuff. $10? This is like $40 value, and all you gotta do is give $10 a month, right? And I know you're not supporting so you can get a shirt and stuff. You're supporting because you believe in what we're doing, and thank you so much. I'm so humbled by that. But again, I'll send you a free t-shirt. You'll also have access to free live stream events for men and women and parents when we begin to do these things. We just need to get enough supporters to get that last one, but we're going to send you all that stuff. Again, go to lovepeopleusethings.fm, click donate, give us $10 a month, and we're going to start to give you those at the start of every month we send it out. I also want to let you know that you can do private coaching sessions with Noah Church, the co-host of Love People Use Things. How do you do that? Go to lovepeopleusethings.fm, and under Getting Help, click Private Coaching, all right? Noah is amazing. Can I be honest? If I was 15 or 20, whatever. If I was in the midst of this struggle right now, I would be calling Noah and chatting with him every week. He is such an awesome guy. He's so encouraging, right? He's so realistic. He's so loving. And he's been through this. There's nothing you can tell him that he'll be like, whoa, dude, that's intense. No, he's been there, all right? Like I've been there. So if you think, okay, you know what? I need to take this to the next level. I need to get serious about this. I need to get one-on-one coaching from Noah. Do it. Go to lovepeopleusethings.fm. Do you have to pay him? Bloody hell, yes, you have to pay him, right? Water is free. Whiskey costs money. That's what I was always taught, right? The prices are totally reasonable. But I mean, Noah's got a job, and you want something worthwhile, you got to pay for it. All right, so if you think you're ready to take this to the next step, you want private, one-on-one, confidential coaching, go to lovepeopleusethings.fm. Sorry, I got a little upset there. This has been a very passionate episode. I feel very passionate today. I can't tell if it's because of the amount of caffeine I've ingested by way of coffee or if I just feel super pumped up. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to lovepeopleusethings.fm. Be sure to follow me and Noah on Twitter. And Noah, we'll chat with you next week. Bye.